for more on this story, let's bring in Behnam Taleblu, Senior Fellow for the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies. Thanks for joining us today. Just react to our reporter's story here. How are you viewing these threats from Iran?
Well, good morning. Great to be with you and Happy New Year. In essence, this was pretty expected. December 31st, there was the change of mission for U.S. forces in Iraq. Another change in mission that the Iranians actually welcomed. Iran now sees a dissipating American force posture on its eastern flank in Afghanistan and now on its western flank in Iraq. And Iran's goal under Soleimani was to find a way to evict America from the region so that it could export its revolution and exercise hegemony and imperialism and predation more freely. It's looking to do that again. And in fact, an uptick in rocket strikes, an uptick in drone strikes, just like the strikes that were intercepted and shot down a few hours ago, is proof that Iran and its proxies will not stop, even if they've lost their leader.
Looking back 2 years after Soleimani was killed, how do you think that's impacted how the U.S. is viewed by Iranian officials?
I think it was a critical moment both in the U.S.-Iran standoff and perhaps the single most important thing that the U.S. has done, regardless of party, in the past decade, or more than the past decade, I would say, on U.S.-Iran policy. This is, in essence, forcing your adversary, the Islamic Republic of Iran, the world's foremost state sponsor of terrorism, to fight with more than one arm tied behind its back. Soleimani led proxies and partners and militias that had the blood of U.S. service persons on their hands. He's responsible for much of the mayhem in the Middle East. And the real question is, what would have happened had U.S. officials under past administrations taken this action? How much blood could have been saved? How much stability in the region could have been preserved?
Right. And if you think back to how it was, again, that move was initially covered by then President Donald Trump, it did receive some negative feedback from those on the Democratic side of the aisle, as well as some media pundits. What do you think their view is today?
As well as people who I debated with in the analytical community. Make no mistake, the killing of the tip of the revolutionary spear of that regime is an escalatory move. It is a change in the way that the U.S. has behaved against the Islamic Republic of Iran. It is escalation by design. The Iranians understand this, which is why continuously in the past 2 years they've promised a hard revenge. And really, the Iranians lucked out by not killing any Americans, because I think there would have been a response on the January 8th ballistic missile barrage when they fired 16 short-range ballistic missiles at 2 locations in Iraq. Ultimately, I think the Iranians are still looking to wash away blood with blood. So that means the current U.S. administration needs to be on high alert. Deal or no deal in Vienna, I think the Iranians are looking to extract basically blood for the killing of Soleimani. And that means there needs to be more deterrence, more pressure, more sanctions, and more of a multilateral pressure-based approach to the Islamic Republic. So I think that cannot be a one-off because the regime does not want to stop its fight against us.
And again, the conversations over the Iran nuclear deal, resuming it, do continue at this time, as you point out. Behnam, thanks so much for coming on. We appreciate the conversation.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.